Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to install this on my Honda Goldwing. It's some cool handlebars that I just bought. They have different types of handlebars. This is the high riser one. It's a little bit higher up, and I do have some adapters that I believe will fit on here fairly easy, but they look great. I forgot what it is, the diameter, but I don't think this will fit directly onto the clamps. So I do have an adapter from a previous bike, so I'm going to use that. And I have this. So I don't know if you buy one of these, that you might have to buy this. So, and then this just kind of mounts on here, and then the this mounts onto your existing clamp. So right there. So this kind of lets you use these oversized bars, which look way cooler. This is quite a process because you have to remove everything that's on the handlebars, including the master cylinder, the brakes, the throttle, but it should slide out. So hopefully this is not going to be too difficult, but I've been meaning to do this for a while. And I want to do this is, I don't want that cruiser-like position for the Goldwing. This is good. It's a comfortable position, but I prefer something a little bit more aggressive for riding. This bike is not really fast, but I do like riding it, so that's why I normally don't like mod bikes. Another one, yeah, I remember I had this from my FJR 1300. They're very good bar ends. Now we have to slide this out, but this is the throttle side. It's very, very tight, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a screwdriver in here carefully. Just kind of stretch it a bit, and then I'm going to take some WD-40 and I'm going to just kind of cram it in there. I really should have gotten new grips, so I'm going to do both sides here, just kind of stretch it a bit. There we go. That came out pretty well. Very nasty, but that's glue. Stretch the grip and then just kind of shove it in here. You actually will hear it kind of rip. Let's see if this will come out. If it's stuck, just kind of twist it, and there you go. The grip is intact. A couple Phillips screws underneath, and all you have to do is make them a little bit loose. You don't have to remove them. This is actually kind of loose, so let's do that. These are just stuck. You just do this. There we go. This one was... It might be something here, so it's already loose. What I'm going to do now is loosen up the clutch perch, which is that. That's for the clutch. You see it's like loose now. There goes one. Don't lose these. These are very specific for the controls, the blinkers and stuff. Loose. So 10 mil. I have the handlebars and I want to slide this out, but the cables are too short. Instead of having to remove any cables or anything, what I'm going to do is loosen these up, remove the handlebars, and I should be able to slide this out. So I've already loosened these up because I checked the fitting before. That's why it's loose. Sometimes it could be very tight on. You want to hold on to the handlebar when you do this, and we might be able to slide this now without having to remove the handlebars. To put this here, remove the key because I don't want my tank to be scratched. I'm going to put my key aside really quick, and more adjustment for removing. You also don't want to be bending this too much. And I'm going to remove the bolts here. We just got to put this back, remove the clamp, this. See if I can slide this out without having to remove any more additional stuff. Sometimes it's tricky, but you should be able to. There we go. So I also removed this, so this unplugged. Make sure that you put it back in. Okay, so get all these zip ties. 10 mil. Yeah, that's a whole lot better. I should have done that first. So remove this one first. And there we go. So here's the old handlebar. And I have one last thing to remove, which is a a switch I just installed for the fan. It should all be out. This is quite a big difference in handlebar. And oh my God, this thing is so heavy. This is real metal. Holy cow. So quite a big difference. This is going to make it a little bit lower and more aggressive. We have this, but these handlebars, they're oversized, so they won't fit. That's why you need those adapters in order for it to fit here. But what this does is that it just kind of slips onto here, and then you have the option of having the handlebars. It's just going to be a different size handlebar that'll fit through here. And all you do is separate it. You're going to get this nice and tight. Yeah, so I had to round off the bolts because I couldn't get any that fit really well. The routing of the brakes, I'm probably going to have to get new brake lines, unfortunately, because the handlebars are much shorter. That's a big difference in space just for the handlebars. There we go. I like the bunching of the clutch cable. So now we're going to put our bolt in here. Here's the bolt. There's a couple lines that you should, on the handlebars, they actually made a spot where you can align things. So this one, okay. You don't have to tighten this too much, but right now it looks pretty good. The grips that I bought, I'll put a link in the description, but they come with bar ends. So there's some that are a little bit softer. I didn't get the heated grips, and now I kind of regret doing it. I'll put a link to these in the link below, the description. And it looks like we have some extra room to play with. So I'm going to squeeze this thing out. You see, like, this is at a level. And now we're going to get the clutch side. Now we have a little bit more space to bring this out. The handlebars are in, but we're still not done. We need a few pieces to make this completely solid. One of the things I need to order is a nut that goes inside and it gets pretty stuck on, and then you put these bar ends. This is for my FJR, and it really helps out. Also, in order to make this work really well, you need the throttle to return, and right now it kind of just stays open because the cable for the throttle is just too freaking long because of the handlebars. So we're going to have to order smaller throttle cables. On the clutch side, same thing. The clutch is too long because of the long cable, so it's a very hard pull. So there is a way of, like, kind of sliding it in and making it a little bit more relaxed, but it'll just kind of keep coming back. So you might as well just replace the clutch cable as well. You have to figure out how you want the bars to be. So I have the bike on the center stand, I have my wrench here, and I'm going to take it for a couple of short rides and see if I want the handlebars to be backwards or forward. So all I do is loosen the bolts up a bit, and then I might want to decide I want it a little bit like this or maybe like that. It really depends, but for right now I think I'll put it almost like level. It'll give me a little bit more play here for the brake lines. I'm also going to have to order brake lines because they create a unnatural bend that I do not like. Let's try out these handlebars. I like it so much more. clutch is extremely heavy and the brakes are not that good. You really have to make sure you're not going into a stop sign as well, not accelerating, because the problem now is that everything is short. Everything is freaking short. The brakes are sloppy, throttle doesn't return, but there's something really nice about riding this bike. I'm probably gonna do some Uber Eats on this classic. Not today. Man, unbelievable. I was thinking that I was gonna get the high bend ones, like the protapers. I picked like these higher bend, but I like the position of this because it's a little sportier. I'm just positioned a little bit far forward. It's a more aggressive naked bike type of position. It definitely feels better. More fluid going around using these handlebars. I mean, just the idea that you can throw it around so much easier. It's definitely a sportier position for riding, I think. You don't see a lot of bikes with scooped back handlebars. And if you pay attention to the Honda Goldwing of old, it was more aimed at cruisers and touring rather than sport and touring, as it is now. I mean, when I got this, it worked. I thought it was burning oil. It wasn't. It was dropping a little bit of oil. The one thing to note when you buy one of these bikes is that if the bike sits on the kickstand and then it blows a puff of smoke and stuff, that's normal because the oil goes into the cylinder on the left. So much sportier. I still need to do a couple of things. So if you get protapers or oversized handlebars, you do need these adapters. I do need to get the clutch cables and everything set up properly. So I got to order a clutch cable or route it a little bit better so I don't have such a hard pull. I mean, this is really, really hard. I was hoping on not having to do that, but if this was extended out here, it would be easier to pull. It's just now the way the cable is bending. And of course, look at this brake line. The brake is actually working pretty well. You just need this top cable to be a little shorter, and that's it, because that connects to a division over there. And then, of course, throttle, it goes back slightly, but it's almost like a cruise control. And then I need bar ends, nuts, so I can put the other bar ends in there. It helps out with the vibration. Brakes are terrible on this. I was thinking about replacing the front brake lines anyway with steel braided brake lines. I fixed the fan. I just put a bunch of tape there. The fan, of course, is controlled with this button I bought. It's like a handlebar button. I'll do a video shortly on doing that. That was a great add-on. AliExpress. That was like $5. I've been ordering a lot of stuff from AliExpress. But you know, I like this bike. The Goldwing. If you look on Facebook Marketplace, you'll see these bikes for less than $1,000 all day long, and often neglected. And there's no reason people should avoid these bikes. I mean, if you want a classic bike for a bargain, this is it. I mean, you're talking about a shaft drive. You're talking about an 1100cc engine, a boxer engine that's low to the ground. This thing just could not get any better for reliability, and it's got this feel. Like when you ride this thing, it feels good to ride. And of course, I got the headlight. I got the blinkers working now. I got my trunk. I love this trunk, by the way. This thing is so big, so massive. And if you know about the Goldwing, even the new Goldwing follows the same thing. They put these massive top trunks on their bikes. The bike does not look good with a top trunk. That's just me. I prefer just the saddle case look or the naked look. But I am very pleased with this. I mean, I don't see myself like selling it. I think everybody needs a classic in their garage, and I think this is my classic. I'd like to have more classics, like maybe a scooter classic. I'm looking for one. You know, I got the T-Max, but the T-Max is such a project. I put the belt in, think it was that. Nope, it might be the clutch, so I have to put in a new clutch on the T-Max, and that's a Yamaha. Squids, that's pretty much the ride today on the Honda Goldwing. I just wanted to try out the handlebars, and I love it. I love the handlebars. It's so awesome. I still have the fairing and stuff for it, but I'm not going to put it on. I think this is the way. This bike looks great as a naked bike. I love how it looks. I love how it feels. It's just an amazing little bike for like just a tiny little bit of money. I mean, this is not much money at all for such a good bike. Well, that's it. Make sure you hit like and subscribe if you like this video. It really helps out the channel, and it doesn't cost you guys anything. Stay tuned for upcoming videos, and let's go for another ride.